I'm a little concerned about this episode because this is like a post-Christmas where we're coming out of it.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
And I think we messed up the theme.
What do you mean?
Well, I grabbed... Okay, here's what happened.
Yeah. Is this a Christmas pilgrim?
I have holiday boxes, and they're colored to each holiday, like the main colors, red and green for Christmas, orange and black. Now, my doctor...
What is Thanksgiving? What are Thanksgiving colors?
They're just like brown and gold.
Brown. Yuck.
My doctor has been feeding me this line of bullshit about color blindness. This guy's been banging this drum for years.
Yeah.
I don't know how that enters into this, but anyway, I grabbed one of the
bins.
He
was mad too, right? He was really, really mad. His face turned blue with anger.
His face turned plaid with anger.
Yeah.
It was weird. But anyway, I grabbed the bin.
You went from gray to like slightly darker gray.
I grabbed the Christmas bin.
Yeah.
And I brought it here, and I threw out the Christmas decorations. He also said I have decoration blindness too. He said that.
No.
Yeah. So,
that's got to be really difficult.
Yeah, it really is.
Yeah. Like whenever you put out the, the yellow ribbons and the pink ribbons.
Right.
They're not the right ribbons.
I know.
I volunteered.
No.
I volunteered to bring decorations, but all of my Christmas decorations are like intensely religious.
Oh, yeah.
And like for a very specific sect of Christianity.
You ever see his Christmas tree? Every ornament is one of Jesus's wounds on the cross. You can't even tell what it's supposed to just blood.
Wound ornaments? You know what they would only look like, right?
Yeah. That's why I bought them.
That's why there's one missing from his tree
like
every year
vagine,
after I go there.
Wow, this tree's making me horny.
This is an offensive line of jokes, huh?
Yeah.
No.
Sex with Jesus' wounds?
No. With an ornament.
Oh, yeah, right.
That may also look like one of his wounds. Big deal. I'll say this: if you had holes in your hands,
Nope. now we're getting.
Well, what about the girl from Stigmata? She's not Jesus, or is she Jesus?
I don't know.
She's probably Jesus.
Never saw the movie, but yeah, let's assume that girl from Stigmata is Jesus.
I would imagine.
So sometimes we record episodes in advance,
That is true.
but we're recording
And
this
not
one.
this, though.
We're recording this one live between Christmas and New Year.
It's crunch time. This episode needs to be out
Yes.
by the time we finish and we hit stop. It like basically has to just go up.
Yeah.
We're not going to edit.
No
So
editing.
any of the stuff that we've said,
Yeah.
the idea of maybe putting your penis through one of his wounds,
Yeah, the
is
stigmata.
it's too late. It's already in.
It's so offensive,
No,
and I wish we could cut it.
Watch this, Craig. Cut that.
Nope, he didn't do it. He
can't.
didn't have time. Sorry.
Craig hasn't even seen this.
It's still there. It's proof. Proof is in the pudding.
Yeah, exactly.
The proof of the pudding is in the tasting.
Yeah.
Eating.
Damn it.
You know what? Either way.
Okay.
The
We're-
proof
this
is
is-
in
this
putting
isn't-
your penis through the hole of Jesus' hand.
Hello and welcome to the final episode of Funbearable. I'm Brad Rohr.
I'm Ray. Oh, I went there. Harrington.
And I was gonna try to do a Stigmata Staten thing, but
Yeah.
I'm just Chuck Staten. No Stigmata.
Stigtatin.
That's it. This is what I was
You
doing
know,
in my head.
When
basically.
Chuck does it, it's Stinkmata.
Oh.
There you go. But yeah, so we thought we would do a mail sack episode because it's been so long.
Of course.
We had such a stacked holiday season with a whole month of Halloween episodes, then the Tell 'em Steve Dave takeover a month, and then the
Gibby.
Christmas stuff. Gibby, of course.
Yeah.
So it was a lot of holiday stuff, and now we're back into the New York groove.
Yeah, it's almost like we
Yeah.
have created a reputation and a tradition of biting off more than you can chew. Right?
Yep.
We sure have.
So let's find out what our lovely viewer listeners are thinking, and they wanted to communicate with us. Let me dig through these
Yeah.
leaves.
Yeah.
These very real leaves.
Yeah, and if you're new to the show, you know, we really appreciate and treasure the relationship with the listeners.
Yeah.
So we really we want them to write in at funbearablepod@gmail.com, and everyone that writes in, we read it on the show at some point in one of our mail sack episodes. I think we literally have like 20 hours of mail sack episodes before this.
Probably, yeah.
So we always try to make sure to get everybody's words out there and answer their questions and have fun with it. And
Yeah.
the week after Christmas,
Except for the slash fiction that people who keep writing in. The erotic fictions that have been told.
Yeah, it's
No,
an
I like
email
those.
from like chuckstato@gmail.com.
Yeah.
yeah.
Stigmato.
Yes.
Yeah, and all those stories are weird because it's always like, and then Brad and Ray put on Chuck masks, and they came towards Chuck, and it's all that. They came towards me. I mean, Chuck. Yeah, a lot of that.
I mean.
Why didn't this guy edit it?
Backtrack.
It's a 7-page script, but 5 of the pages are drawings. It's this way. This is how it could happen.
But if you're enjoying the show, we always forget to say this. Subscribe on YouTube.
Please, thank
subscribe
you.
audio. Leave a comment on iTunes. All that stuff is very helpful for the show.
It really is. I mean, we're saying it as an afterthought, but it is a forethought for sure. Like,
Yes.
I hope you do that, viewer, listener. Thank you very much. And if this is your first time to the show, our regular episodes are absolutely like this.
Yeah. Very similar.
Absolutely. Yeah. We may have plans for an episode and walk in, and Ray could be like, I saw a bug the other day, and that's the episode.
Yeah,
there we
yeah.
go. He's like, I guess we have to save everything else for another time.
Yep.
It happens.
This email is from Jeremy. It was sent in on July 1st.
Okay. Not
Of
bad.
this year?
Of this year.
Of this year.
Not
I mean,
bad.
granted, we are towards the very, very end.
Yes.
Hey guys, on episode 91, You Should Be Clichémed, Chuck mentioned how he told his family that Brad eats at least 100 hot dogs a year. As I proceeded to laugh, I stopped myself and realized, if Chuck thinks 100 hot dogs is a lot, I eat at least twice as many as that, if not more.
200 dogs?
I don't buy this.
I don't eat them with a bun, but instead mix it with browned beans. This was a childhood comfort food,
Hot
which
dogs and beans.
which turned into a money-saving meal in university to then be a middle-aged return to my childhood comfort food. 100 hot dogs a year seems like a lot, but I'll bet I've had more than 100 this year already. When Brad said he had only eaten 8 hot dogs at that point of the year, I thought I should now try to cut back on my own consumption. Keep up the great work on the pod. Jeremy.
Thank you, Jeremy. And it is good to know that we do make a positive difference in lives. Right?
I will say this. If you're eating Franks and beans in a bowl,
Yeah.
I don't know if that's as whimsical as a hot dog. It feels
I
like
know,
more
I
of
get
a
what you mean.
meal.
Yeah,
know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah, yeah.
That feels more acceptable.
Yeah. And meal is like, that's also barely that.
Hey, at
know?
least it's a vegetable.
Yeah. No.
No, it's a beans. Beans
are-
are a fruit.
Well, the
The
beans-
musical fruit. That goes back to the Katie
The
Arroyo
legume.
episode.
Yeah. But it is, I don't know. That feels very fresh divorce to me.
I'll say.
Just a paper bowl. You know what I mean? Like a paper plate style bowl.
Yeah.
And with a plastic spoon eating hot dogs and beans.
Just thinking about hot dogs in general in my count, right now at
Do you
the end
need
of
some
the
of
year.
these leaves to cover your erection?
Yes, I'm.
You need more.
just one.
Do you need more receipt? Do you need more receipt tapes?
Like pulling them closer into his lap. I'm
honestly,
fine. I just don't want to stand up right now.
That's enough. I don't know where I am right now at the end of the year, but I can tell you that right around Election Day, I was probably still only at 31 hot dogs for 2024.
You famously said you were going to eat a hot dog for every single electoral vote that your man Trump got.
I did say that.
Yeah.
So you know what? The past 6-7 weeks have been very hot doggy.
Yeah.
I think sometimes I think about, like, you just said, the freshly divorced meal. It's so funny because in New York, I'm just like completely, I live by myself.
Yeah.
I'm very lucky when I'm home in Rhode Island. Like, my roommate Jordan is an actual, like, he knows how to cook. He's a chef. The other day he's like, oh, I made chorizo tacos, and we're like, hell yeah, and we had a bunch. When I'm in New York, I eat like a divorced dad that has never learned how to cook, like, all
or
the
a
time.
perpetual, boy man bachelor.
See, well, the perpetual boy man bachelor, I think, is going like Lucky Charms, right? You know what I mean? Like, I think he's doing stuff that's
guess.
more fun.
I get. You know what? I would think that person eats out most of the time.
Yeah.
Is that true? Oh, his eyes are going insane. Jacuzzi.
Well, I don't. Here's the thing. When I'm by myself in New York, I also kind of have this rule, and this is kind of boring and dumb. I try not to eat things that are unhealthy when I'm alone.
Sure.
Because it's like, I'm not really, like, if me and Brad are going to go have a fun, or me and you went to 7 Stars or that day.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, oh, let's have something. That's fun. But if I'm by myself, I try to eat healthy.
Sure.
So I'm heating up Campbell's chicken noodle soup.
Yeah.
Stuff that's very low, or steaming broccoli. I do a lot of steamed broccoli.
Yeah.
Which that's acceptable, I guess.
Sure.
But it is like just constant, like, the same meals where I go to the store and I buy 10 cans of
Yeah,
the same
yeah.
soup
Yep.
and
Yeah.
like it's a little embarrassing. I gotta
I
be
get it.
honest.
I understand.
But I'm by
Yeah.
myself.
I had
Yeah.
an embarrassment. I had bought a bunch of stuff on like Thursday, and then I went to the store on Friday, and I'm like, oh, I need to get tortillas for tacos and cat food for my cat, and so I checked out.
That's
with
amazing.
just that, and I'm like,
Oh, the cashier is just like,
I'm so
this is a divorced
This is a sad
meal.
man.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I am,
food
but
tacos.
I'm not that sad, I promise.
I wanted to take two euphemisms for vagine, put them together.
He's holding
I'm
the
practicing.
he's holding the cat food and it says 1 pound, $1.99, and he's holding the taco meat and it says 1 pound, $2.49, and he's going,
Yeah.
and he's wondering,
Excuse me, does this cat food, I see that you have different flavors, like salmon and tuna.
Some of
But
it's a little fancy.
do you have a carne asada cat food?
Do you have
Oh,
one?
the asada?
Yeah, do you have one that's just meat flavored?
Yeah.
Ooh, burria cat food. I will say, I get that idea of the cooking because it is interesting. Like you live on your own in New York. Like you have a long distance girlfriend, and
Allegedly.
yeah. And Brad, you're always tired from taking that wig off whenever you're with Chuck as his
It's
long
from
distance
such a long
girlfriend.
distance away. Yeah.
I'm a married man,
Yeah.
and pre-married man. I met my wife in college, and then we moved into an apartment before we got married. So in college, you're not really. It's college stuff. Like
Right.
at most, maybe you have a friend in a room next to you with a microwave.
Yeah,
and
hot
maybe
plate.
you have like a Chef Boyardee.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
For me, I didn't even have that. I had my mini fridge, but it was like if I had the forethought, I might wrap up a sandwich from the
Yeah,
dining
yeah,
hall
yeah. Exactly.
and put that in the refrigerator for like midnight. You
Yeah,
know what I mean?
exactly.
I lived in an apartment before I went to college, so I was cooking for myself.
Right.
I was just going to ask you. So you did live by yourself at some point.
I lived with roommates.
Yeah.
And
Have you ever lived alone?
no,
That's interesting.
that is interesting.
Did you ever think about that?
No, not until you just said that.
Okay, keep going. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, that's okay. Would I survive? Who knows? But no, that time in the apartment, like I went from completely brand new, like on my ownness,
Yeah.
and ate like shit, right? Like really bad. And it wasn't until towards the tail end where it was like, no. And we all kind of made a concerted effort at that moment. Like, hey, we've been eating like shitheads, you know? And we cleaned the kitchen, we got everything good, but it wasn't a ton of cooking. We coined the phrase of like dinner bowls. And it was, we kind of had the same process for it, where it's like you take a chicken breast, throw it in a George Foreman grill,
Yeah.
right? I think I won it
Nice.
in some like raffle thing when I worked at like Best Buy in high school.
It was when you boxed George Foreman.
Yeah.
Yes.
It was actually, it wasn't a George Foreman grill you could buy on TV. He did it for George Foreman's grill.
Yes.
He
Yeah.
won it off of it because he bet he wouldn't.
Yeah. And to
exactly.
be clear, it wasn't George Foreman the boxer. It was one of his children that he named George Foreman.
Yeah.
I think it was a girl one.
Yeah.
I can't tell. They all sound the same.
Yeah.
And never mind.
It's the list.
Whew. So
Mike Tyson.
it was about the Foremans. Did you say Mike Tyson?
He said it's the lisp.
Oh, yeah.
I love being the dumb one.
How come I don't have a grill? This is stupid. Why don't I have a grill? I want something that cooks. I want to cook stuff. So anyway,
Stupid Ray.
fucking jerk. So it would be like a chicken breast in the George Foreman grill. Put some like aso sauce on it, and then throw in some like peppers or veggies that grill as well.
Sure.
And then it would be like some minute rice. Throw that all together in a bowl, and like we genuinely at fucking 18, 19 years old
I know,
are like,
yeah.
we're full grown adults and we know how to live. I could basically have a mortgage.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But then here's what's so weird. Like I was independent and fully capable. I cooked meals. You know what I mean? There were certain things I would take the time to cook actual
Right,
meals.
right.
And then, went to college, moved in with my wife, and my Kalina loves to cook. She likes cooking.
That's great.
She likes to find different things and try new things and, switch things around. She genuinely loves to cook. And so it kind of went away for me. And I don't mean it in the like traditional lazy guy husband way of like, I don't know, my wife takes care of it. It's not that, but over the years we've been together, I've kind of like lost that connection to making food. And I'm also a comic. I'm a stand-up comic who travels on the road, who doesn't eat fast food. So there's these little shortcut things I've developed that can get close to recently divorced man.
Of course.
I think it's like my big aha moment was like, if I'm going to be in a place for a while, for like $2, I can buy like a Tupperware container and then buy bagged salads that have the dressing and everything.
Good thinking.
And then buy pre-cooked chicken strips.
Yep.
And I'm like, those are meals. That's a dinner.
Yeah,
and I'm thrilled with it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, it has kind of gone away for me.
I know it's a weird thing. It's I feel guilty about it. But it's also like, I don't know.
I feel like a befuddled sitcom dad when my wife like goes for a trip somewhere.
Yes.
And I'm on my own and I'm like, I don't know. I'm scared of the stove. You know what I mean? It's that kind of feeling.
I know.
But yeah. No, so I think your hot dog situation, Jerome, is okay.
I was gonna say it's elevated from the bun hot dogs.
I would say, you know how if you go to the doctor, like you could be like pre-diabetic.
Yeah.
Nothing's wrong, but it's getting close.
Right.
Jeremy, it's like pre-hot dog abetic. Nothing's wrong.
Right.
Yet.
But
Careful.
yeah, maybe
it
introduce
up.
something else.
Yeah.
Nice. Email number 2 from July 11th of this year. It's from Chad.
It's the same day.
Nope, 10 days later.
Oh, okay. July 1st.
Hey, Ray Chubra. Loved episode 102. Loved playing Funionaire at home and hearing your t-shirt ideas.
Oh, who wants to be a fun?
yeah.
That was fun.
I just placed my t-shirt order but was disappointed my dad only stops hitting my mom when Funbearable is on shirt was all sold out. When you announced the live 100th episode, I decided to go back and listen from the beginning to go through the entire catalog before July 21st. I'm nowhere near that goal, but maybe by the time you read this, I'll be there.
Good call.
Yeah.
After listening to episode 1, Chuck mentions he was removed from Brad's weekly email update he sends out to his closest 100. Was this a bit, or is that real? And if it's real, 1, do people interact with it weekly, or is it more like talking into a void? And 2, how does one join said list, or are they added without joining? Bear down, Chad. P.S. For episode 200, would love to hear Brad sing the Super Bowl Shuffle a la Get 'Em, but maybe as the Super Brad Waffle.
Okay.
I like Super Brad Waffle.
Just so people understand the PS, on Tell 'em Steve Dave, Get 'em, one of the characters on the cast, occasionally will do sing songs as part of a game where people have to guess what the songs are. They might play it backwards. They'll do different things. So that's what he's referring to when he says a la Get 'em.
Yeah.
And I would love to hear Brad sing the Super Bowl Shuffle.
I thought that was in reference to what the guys flying those planes on that specific day said. Allah.
Oh, there we go.
Get 'em.
I'll
Yeah.
Get 'Em, yeah.
Get 'em, Allah.
I was them saying Allah.
Sorry, I'm
and
so
then
sorry. I'm so
Mark-
sorry.
It was Mark Wahlberg saying Get 'em.
Yeah, this is unfortunate because now, as we know, Craig can't edit this out.
As we know. So Brad's email list.
Yeah.
So why don't you explain it, and then I'll explain why it was kicked
And
off.
so yeah, now it's out of the bag. It is not a bit. It's a real thing.
real thing.
And
Oh,
I
for
had to learn that as well. I was uninformed of that before joining up and making this whole trio situation happen. It was news. It was news for me.
It has been going on for 19 years, and I have missed 1 week since November of 2005.
It was the insurrection week.
It was the insurrection
I was busy.
week. Yes, I was busy that day. So,
Where am I going to put this podium?
yes.
Stupid helmet.
How
I
it,
just hope they don't find out I shot that woman.
how it started was in grad school, a friend was leaving. She had taken a professional position. She was leaving to go to another school, and it was her idea to say, hey, I want to keep in touch with my friends still at Arkansas, so I'm going to have an email, and then we can just all reply all and keep in contact with each other. And
This was before the idea of a text group.
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, this
The
was
group
this.
chat.
Yeah, this was late 2005, and a couple people did a couple emails, and I just kept going, And it got to the point where I'm like, let me just not do grad school. Let me add people from my college years and like my home friends from Indiana. And for a while, it was kind of friends. It was friends I hadn't seen, and then I added some friends I was seeing. And then I'm like, no, let me take it out. So it's just friends I haven't seen in a while. So maybe they still live in Indiana, or they're in Michigan or California or wherever.
Hospice.
Yeah. And a lot of hospice.
Yeah.
And so I
'Cause
just
at this
email.
point, I mean, they're
Right.
85, 90.
At least.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so I'm like, this is what happened this week. This is where I went. Oh, Wednesday afternoon we podcasted and there were leaves all over, whatever. And so it's there, nobody's asking to join. The interactions, it's probably 3 or 4 people who regularly comment or ask questions that I then start the next week with of like,
How do I get out of this?
right. But
Stop.
Why won't you
All
stop
caps,
emailing
stop.
me?
Yeah.
And so that, but then other people will say, hey, like I've read your last 12 updates. Seems like things aren't going so well. I'm like, yep, that's correct. And so, there's less weekly interaction, but I think a lot of people read them. And it goes, I think at this point it's 50 something people. Also, I have used song lyrics as a sign off instead of like yours truly.
Oh, no. What?
And the playlist for that is 800 something songs long at this point. And
That is the most MySpace thing I've heard in a long time.
yeah, I have a spreadsheet so that I don't reuse the same song.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
All right.
So what happened was I was on the email thread where
Yeah.
Brad was giving his, deepest, darkest thoughts.
Uh-huh.
And what happened was
I think Miracle.
I'm gonna have
should
to tell the Bacon Brothers story.
Do it.
Bacon Brothers?
So what?
Is that a butcher shop?
I wish.
It was
Is it Kevin and his brother?
It was what kicked me off the email list.
Are they wrestlers? Did they defeat the Bushwhackers? The Bacon
no,
Brothers.
I love that you have to do
The Bushwhackers thwomped them.
Oh, all right.
It wasn't
All right.
close.
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
so a bunch of us went out. A bunch of us were gonna have a make your own pizza party, right?
Okay, adult. Okay, adult man.
And so,
Let's have a make your own pizza party.
Chuck was like 22 at the time.
Yeah.
I was
When
like-
it's super cool to do that. Yeah.
so we all went to the grocery store together, which is
All right. I mean, you gotta.
See?
Yeah. Because that's part of it.
And so right now you're on the side of the guy who's like, no, let's all go to the grocery
Yeah.
store together for my girlfriend's make your own pizza birthday party.
I'm
Oh,
sorry.
that's what it was for?
Did you think
was.
this party was just a make your own pizza? It's also shop for your own pizza party.
Yeah.
so.
You know?
What was happening?
Don't bring anything.
No, there's
but money.
A couple things were floating around at the time. One, Brad and one of our friends wanted to get Canadian bacon, but we were all like
For the pizza.
For the pizza,
Yeah.
And we're all
The
trying
mo-
to.
or are you talking about the movie?
Both.
Okay.
And we're trying to figure out what toppings we want to
We're
get.
gonna do a
All-
theme
There's probably
night.
like 7 of us, 8 of us, and so Brad's talking about the pizza, and he, if I remember, he's like, "You can't slice the Canadian bacon on the pizza. We have to cut the slices around it." Did you say that?
No.
Someone did. That we could not cut through it. Do you know what I'm talking about?
I think it was, I wanted the Canadian bacon that was packaged as a circle.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
And-
And you were like, no. And I'm like, but it's,
okay, here's
it's
what
make your own pizza.
Okay, here's what happened.
And Chuck's like, no, you have to make my pizza.
okay,
If this
now,
very moment had happened
what he's saying-
before Funbearable wouldn't exist.
this is,
I would still be
he's
doing
lying.
Ray Harrington Must content,
he's
and you two would be having this exact same conversation by yourselves.
he's lying.
He's lying about the
What happened
Canadian
was-
bacon.
What happened was I didn't give a shit what people got for their things.
Okay.
Okay, I didn't say anything.
I can tell you're very truthful when you're doing that hand gesture.
I-
That looks
I-
like a
I
politician
didn't say
that's
shit.
lying.
I didn't say shit. Our friend Souza, who was in charge of making the pizza because he has the most experience being a cook or a chef, he started calling Brad and our other friend who wanted bacon, Canadian bacon, the Bacon Brothers.
Okay.
He started calling them that. I didn't say that. I didn't give a shit about the toppings. I didn't care at all. I had
Okay.
no stance. The
right.
only thing I thought was funny is that either you or the other person was like, we cannot cut through the bacon when we cut the pizza. Maybe it was the other guy. Anyway, after he was accused of being a bacon brother by
Okay.
someone else, he wrote in his update erroneously that I was calling him a bacon brother.
Okay.
And so I said, Brad, that didn't happen. And because I set the record straight with the truth, he cut me off the email list.
It must be true because this is how Chuck reports it.
How do you report it?
I don't know.
That's how it happened.
I say let
Bacon-
bacons be
Bacons?
bacons.
Well, like he's asking, the letter is asking what happened.
Right.
Yeah.
So I'm telling you,
That's what happened.
what happened is, you ever see the episode of The Simpsons where Mr. Burns hits Bart with his car and then they go to court, and then Bart tells his version of the story, and then Mr. Burns tells his version of the story, and you see the actual version.
I think this is very funny because what you're describing is like that's in movie and television world, that's Kurosawa,
Yeah.
right?
Yes,
that's
right.
Seven Samurai, and the idea that you're like, The Simpsons, right? Like,
Well, I think that is a more.
yes,
common
I know. I
reference.
just think it's funny. That's all. That tickled me. I apologize
No, it's funny.
deeply.
So that's what happened. But
Okay.
I think Brad wants his update to be a space where he can tell the Mr. Burns version.
I mean, it's Brad's update.
Yeah.
So he doesn't
Write your own update, Chuck.
He doesn't want the truth.
You have alternative facts.
He doesn't want the truth to interfere with how he expresses himself.
I mean, also, I would say if somebody calls me and another guy the Bacon Brothers, and Chuck cackles, I think Chuck's participating in the ribbing of the Bacon Brothers.
Complicit.
Yeah.
Yeah, complicit.
Yeah. Aider and abetter.
By the way,
You aid and abet.
the idea of the line that was crossed
Is calling you baking bread. Yeah.
I was in such a bad mood. I was so hungry. And then I'm like, yeah, we'll just get Boboli crust. They're like, what? Like I was the biggest idiot to
by the
ask
way-
for prepared crust.
and by the way-
That wasn't Chuck.
By the way, no matter how big of an idiot he is, I'm a bigger idiot. So there's no way I had any feelings. If they were like, nah, we gotta buy feta cheese for this pizza, I'd be like,
It was like
Feta on a pizza is good.
the crust I wanted was wrong. The toppings I wanted was wrong. The sauce I wanted was like everything was wrong. And I'm like, I don't want to be. And I'm hungry. I'm hangry. To use a word that I don't enjoy.
so he took me off the email list.
Yeah.
And then he lied about it again.
If there was a court show, you know how there's a lot of court shows.
Yep.
A lot of judge shows.
Yep. If there were a court show about this, I would put myself in an electric chair.
Yeah, the Judys of the world, right? And they have all different ones.
Yep.
Divorce ones. They have all these things. What this made me feel like, quite genuinely, is that I am a judge on a judge show, and my whole shtick, it's not the people's court, it's not divorce court, it is literally petty court.
I love
It is the pettiest
Ooh,
thing.
petty court junction. That's
Yeah.
funny. That is funny.
So
Come on.
that's what I feel like right now, where I've heard both sides, and like somehow there's supposed to be like a decision made, and it's like all the judge says at the end of every one of those episodes is like, "Why are we here?"
There is one more element to the story.
Yeah.
I asked why I was taken off because I realized it was absent from my inbox. And Brad told me he only did it for people who didn't live near him. But then I said, well, what about these people that live near you? And then he didn't answer me.
That's true.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
But Chuck is still in my very regular day-to-day life.
Yeah.
Maybe those other people are not. Maybe I knew what the future would bring.
Maybe you wanted to carve out one seldom lone space for yourself.
Oh, now it's
And
now
clearly,
now it's
that
third
is a
reason.
problem
Oh, now we're-
for other people.
Now we're
right?
moving the goalpost the second
I
time.
want
see how
I
it
want
is.
a place to eat my
Bailiff?
cat. I want a place to eat my cat food tacos
in peace.
in peace.
Where's
Without
my-
ridicule.
Where's my Hannibal Lecter mask? Put it on me.
I don't think I've added anyone to the list in ages. I think since our friend Wes moved back to Ohio in like 2017. I think he was the most recent addition. So
Thank you for asking that question, Chad. And thank you, Brad and Chuck, for airing this dirty, dirty laundry
Filthy.
And I genuinely feel like the judge of petty court.
I love Petticoat Junction.
It's tough because we already, in Funbearable, we already have a court. We already have a court.
Can I make a suggestion to the other two? Bears?
Yeah.
I would love to do Petticoat Junction with people writing in about their petty problems.
Oh, of course, yeah.
What do you think about that?
I would absolutely do it. The only thing is we would have to somehow differentiate between that and boy crimes.
So we're judges on boy crimes.
Gavel.
I think we could, what should we... We'll talk about it off air.
Yes.
I think we can, though.
No, I think so too. No, it would be a lot of fun. Because I think
to do petty
petty
court
argument stuff of like, I'm holding this very petty thing because we're all guilty of it.
Of course.
I have petty feelings about stuff.
Of course you
do. You know what I
do.
mean?
Yeah.
I wrote one in my phone that I was going to bring up on an episode of the podcast that at the time I was like, this is very funny. And now enough time has gone by where I'm like, it's only petty.
Yeah.
It's only petty.
It's Lori Petty over here.
I was going to do it because I noticed when we did the 100th episode live and we posted clips and things like that, this is the petty. This is how I'm recognizing this is so dumb, but I thought it was a fun like angle, a fun like take to have. When we shared Chuck's eulogy that we wrote, and you read the eulogy, because we each had to read one, right? Now, I had written a lot of Chuck's eulogy. You read it, and then I saw comments of like, oh my God, Brad is so funny on Chuck's eulogy. Like,
Thank you.
Did such a great job.
Thank you.
And there was a part of me where I was like, this is stolen valor. Right? Because what am I going to do? Comment like, I actually wrote that joke.
Oh,
You know what I mean?
dude,
That would be the pettiest thing in the world.
Oh my God. I will say, and this turns into a positive thing real quick. The other day I was walking with Brad, and this is kind of just a general thank you to the audience, just made me think of it. And I said, hey, did you see all the comments throughout the month about our Halloween episodes? And he was like, no, I don't read the comments just in case. And I'm like, they're pretty cool. Like, and I went through all the comments on YouTube through all of the Halloween episodes. So positive. People being so like generous. Like, I've been waiting all year for this. These are the best things you got. So much stuff. Really deep cut stuff from old Chuck and Brad days they were mentioning. And
there were those comments when the second Chucky episode came out that were all like, finally you posted feet. Like, they were so happy about your feet. A lot of comments that were like, take the socks off, take the socks off.
But it was really all just super, super nice. And it's just your comment thing made me think of it. And I really appreciated that people cared about that a lot.
Of course, yeah.
No, it was very kind.
Yeah, we'll talk and we'll get Petty Court Junction off the ground.
That is a funny name.
Oh, sure, yeah.
On the Chuck and Brad podcast, we used to do Chuck's petty printouts.
Yes.
And I would have fights with some people that were really petty, and I'd bring them in if they were funny. They were good. They were fun.
Yeah.
I like petty stuff too.
This email is from August 7th.
We're getting there.
From Victor. Hi, guys. Great pod. After listening to all the C&B pod eps on Spotify, currently into triple and quadruple listenings, I finally broke down and had to go straight to the source to find out the titles of all those rockin' tracks played at the end of each ep. They are so good. I'm surprised they haven't been released as singles. The one unidentified track which remains a mystery to me is the one at the end of C&B pod 539, I'm Leaving the Lights On. Wow, right in the feels. The merger between you guys and Ray was ultimately genius. Chuck is right. It is Brad's presence that elevates the chemistry of your pod to TESD levels. Ray has a lightning-quick wit and a sharp mind, reminiscent at times of TESD's Brian Johnson, and Chuck's creativity and enthusiasm are infectious. That's not all that's infectious. I speak for hundreds of listeners when I say those eps where you guys open up about your fears and ambitions are the most impactful. Thank you guys for allowing total strangers...
What do those listeners listen to?
Thank you guys for allowing total strangers to enter your world and letting us feel your depressions, joy, fears, laughter, goofiness, and happiness. Very thankful for all your creative energy. Thanks. Regards, Victor.
Thanks, Victor.
Thank you, Victor.
Very nice. Yeah.
That song, what happened was a long time ago, we did a senior discount album where basically, real quick, what had happened was two people from the band had left. So the only people that were left were myself, who did rhythm guitar and sang, and my drummer, Christian, who's my cousin. And we essentially did an EP of 5 acoustic songs. Then when we filled the other 2 roles of the bassist and the lead guitarist with Cat Food Kelly as the lead guitarist, great guy from Lem Lem Tennis Shoes, and our buddy Abe as the bassist, we did 5 or 6 more songs.
Abe Tortilla.
And
Cat Food and Tortilla.
and we took the 5 or 6 acoustic songs and the 5 or 6 full band songs, and we re-released it from the original EP was called "Is This the End?" and it was just me and Christian, and then and then the full album was called "This Is Not the End." But what we did was later, pretty soon after, I got in contact with the drummer of Less Than Jake, who had a great record label, and it was called Paper and Plastic Records, and like Fun, AFI, a bunch of bands were on there, and he agreed to put out an album with Senior Discount.
Yeah.
So what we did was we took the best songs of our whole career, because everything was like super independent, and we took all the full band songs from This Is Not the End, and we said, man, putting these more solemn acoustic tracks on to this really fun punk rock album, it just didn't seem to fit.
Yeah.
So we actually took down This Is Not the End from all streaming services, and we put up the new album, which was called The Best Revenge, and it has all the full band songs, and it has all the best of Senior Discount songs, but some of those acoustic tracks ended up not going anywhere.
Yeah.
So there's I think that there's, honestly, that might be the only original song that's not anywhere.
Yeah.
Is that song, which is called Light On. The other acoustic tracks, I think, were acoustic versions of other songs that ended up on the full band version. So that one song, Light On, and there's a second song called I Don't Know Why. Those 2 songs are not anywhere online. But if you write to funbearablepod.com, funbearablepod@gmail.com, just tell me you're looking for those 2 songs, and I'll send you links to download the MP3 files. But I appreciate you liking those songs, because it was really fun working on those, and I love working with acoustic bass guitar, which is something that not a ton of people use, and I really incorporated a lot on those tracks. I know this is not funny, but it was really fun, and I really appreciate that you like them. So write me and I'll send you the tracks. Appreciate it, buddy.
Good deal.
Yeah, it was good stuff.
Yeah.
And I also like opening up about career stuff. There's going to be some funny things in my life going on pretty soon, and I'm hoping we can talk about them at some point. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
To me, after they happen.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's when you talk about it, because up until the day of, you
could
could get the call that it's not happening.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
This email is technically from July 20th, but there was a response, etc. Gentlemen, this is from Richard. Gentlemen, I come to you having now just listened to episode 103, The Death of Alaska Ray, and realizing I need, desperately, to know more information on multiple things. First off, this is really the most serious question. Does Brad really have a hot dog spreadsheet? If so, what's on it? Because in my head, it's a fantastical spreadsheet with columns and checkboxes that includes date hot dogs are eaten, how many hot dogs, the meal they were eaten as part of, and checkboxes for each topping: cheese, mustard, ketchup, chili, onions, gourmet mustard, pickles, tomatoes, sesame seeds, celery salt, Chicago dogs. Of course, no box past ketchup has ever been checked, but they're aspirational, and that's okay. Great joke. Good joke. If so, I'd love to hear about this spreadsheet. My second thing, as someone who worked at Best Buy in high school and well beyond, I need to hear about Ray's experience working at Best Buy in high school. I look forward to hearing your answers in early 2025. Now, Ray did respond. Thanks for the email. I'll hold off on sharing my Best Buy experience until it's on mic, but I see you, fellow blue shirt. I'll be sure to press Brad on his hot dog spreadsheet, though Chuck told me if you press Brad too hard, hot dog comes out. Thanks so much.
That's also a good joke.
Yeah, sure.
I'm keeping track of all my meals, breakfast, lunch, and dinner in 2024
Hot dog.
to see how many hot dogs I truly eat. And like with any experiment, tracking it changes the results. And so because I'm aware that I'm tracking...
Observing the molecule changes it. Yeah.
And so...
Nook of the North, the first documentary.
Not the same as what we're going for.
What just happened?
Well,
documenting it?
So the fact
Observing
that they
it changed
documented
it.
the Eskimos was what they were called at the time.
Yeah.
That was the very first documentary, but it came out soon after that they asked him to do certain things.
Oh yeah, it was all baloney.
It was all So
Yeah.
same thing when you actually try to document something.
Yeah.
That applies to what we were
No,
saying.
I get what you mean. Yeah.
Because I knew that I'd have to share this food spreadsheet with other people, I'm like, well, I can't eat as many hot dogs as I would normally eat because I'll get laughed at. So I probably have cut down hot dog consumption this year because I'm being observed by people who didn't
himself.
ask. Yeah.
And also, the doctor did say if you had too many more, you would get hot dog consumption.
Yes.
You know? You look at it and it's mustard or something.
I'll say my spreadsheet is basically, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. If I eat somewhere alone, it's yellow. If I eat at a home with friends, it's blue. And if I eat out somewhere with a friend, it's green.
Oh, I get.
Yeah.
Okay, so when you're alone,
Yep. No.
you let it mellow, yellow, right?
If I'm out and alone, I let it yellow mellow.
Oh, is that?
If I'm home alone, and no highlight because there'd be too many.
Oh,
of them.
okay. So if you eat somewhere else alone,
Yep.
Let it mellow, yellow.
Yep.
If you're eating at a friend's house, good for you, turn it blue.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
And then if you go out to eat with other people, it's green.
Yep.
Which means that it's somewhere in between.
Ooh. Very good. That was
Tried to rhyme
exactly
green quickly.
So weak.
exactly the rhyme scheme.
Fuck you.
Well, why would it be in between? Because he's not allowed into their house yet.
Yes.
Oh, I
Son
get
of a
it.
bitch.
This is the we're in public, so if anything happens,
Yeah. Keep it in between. Like, be the gross little planiac that you are, but like, don't go too far. You know what I mean? I'm just kidding with you.
So-
Best Buy.
Best Buy.
Sorry, just real quick.
yeah.
My spreadsheet isn't loading. Oh, there it
It
is.
happens to the best of us. Don't worry.
Hang on. We're so many days into the year. Jeez Louise. Through
Have you ever eaten there? Cheese Louise?
Through the Cheese Louise. Through the end of October,
Yeah.
I had skipped 69 meals. I had eaten
Nice.
I had eaten 625 at home by myself.
Okay.
I had eaten 29 in homes with pals. I had eaten 98 out by myself, 94 out with friends
Okay.
as of the end of October.
Okay, that's good.
Now I can sleep tonight. Thank you.
Yes. Hot dog count, I think, was at 31.
This is insane.
So yeah, Best Buy.
Best Buy. I worked at Best Buy when I was in high school, tail end of high school, before I dropped out. Later went to college and got 2 degrees. So I don't know if people listening know
What
the
are your 2
background.
degrees? Are
I always
they-
feel ashamed when I say, yeah, I dropped out of high school.
That's okay.
But it wasn't. It was different. You know what I mean? And then I went to college and got degrees.
Can I guess your degrees?
Yeah, black belt,
Communications.
roughly.
No.
Roughly.
Okay. Well, you said 2.
Yeah.
So how can one be rough? Communications.
Ooh, I got it. White studies.
No. I minored.
Yes.
I don't know. Sorry.
Radio broadcasting.
I was going to say broadcasting.
Yeah, and marketing,
Marketing.
which is communications.
I
you
get
know.
it. I
Chuck
get
got
it.
a degree in minor studies.
So I worked there in high school. I worked in the full service television department, which meant basically any TVs over 32 inches, and home theater stuff. That was all my department.
Yep.
Best Buy didn't have commission. That was like their whole big thing. Like,
Yeah.
we don't work on commission. And I'd say probably like 3 or 4 months in, I was like, yeah, that sucks.
Yeah.
That really sucks.
Yeah.
For the people that work in that full serve department.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because we were selling a ton of stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
A lot of money. And it was the idea of like someone coming in for that TV. Well, you got to have a killer home theater system
Yeah.
to go with that. And this was pre flat screen TVs.
Right.
Oh wow.
Rear projection, big screens, all that stuff. And, you have to know your info. You do all that stuff. And then, going in the back and getting massive TVs and helping them people out to their cars and stuff like that. I liked that department because it was a little more solo, right? Like there was always like 1 or 2 people you're working with.
Yeah.
But if there's nobody looking actively for a thing, you kind of hang out a little bit,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
It's different than some of like the media departments, like CDs, games, movies,
Right.
like things like that, which are all going away now anyway. I wasn't nerdy enough for the computer department.
Ah, that's funny.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
But I was salesy and technical enough
Yeah.
to do that stuff. And yeah, really, by towards like a few months in, you're talking to the other guys, and we went from, I think we were the number 1 full serve TV department in all Best Buys for a few months running. It was crazy.
Yeah.
But that's when we were all like, yeah, and we don't make shit.
Yeah.
I'm getting minimum wage and bringing in thousands upon thousands of dollars every fucking hour. And knowing that, and like the guys down at Circuit City, because that was the thing it was right towards the end, or at this home theater place, like they're making money, like it's a car dealership kind of thing. So it kind of blew in that regard. I liked my time there.
Yep.
I was a high school kid.
I gotta be honest. I think it's fun to work at the entertainment chains when you're in your
Hell
late
yeah,
teens,
because
early
you're
20s.
surrounded by the things that you like, you know. And it was always like a fun thing of, you know, there were certain people you just enjoy hanging out with. To me now, it feels so alien because I don't have a day job. I just do stand up and some film stuff. But it is weird. I remember really enjoying, you know, the people that I worked with and the goofs that would go on or whatever.
Oh yeah.
Our break room was killer because it was all the electronics you could want. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like the break room was enough where I think if I was a little bit older, I probably would have been like, hey, can we hang out there during like whatever's going on for TV? You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
One of the coolest things that happened was there was another kid working there. This is when the PlayStation 2 came out, and everybody was super pumped, and there was like a midnight release, and I didn't have the money at the time. I was waiting for my paycheck that week, high school kid, and I wanted to get one. And again, all the other high school kids that worked there had no idea how credit worked.
Right.
Yeah, sure.
And there was a guy that worked there, and he's like, I got a Best Buy credit card. I'll just put it on there for you. And I was like, thank you. I really appreciate
very nice of
that.
him.
Because I was talking to him about it. I'm like, oh, I got like half the money right now, but I got to wait till I get paid. He's like, I'll just put it in my credit card. Who cares?
Yeah.
And you just pay me back. It doesn't even matter. You don't even have to pay me this week. You can pay me next month. It's on the credit card. The credit card.
Yeah.
Right? This kid had no idea of like, you're paying interest on that, you know, all that stuff.
Yeah.
Like one of those people that you see on like you know, flipping through like Instagram or something or on Twitter or whatever, some social media thing where some person is admitting when they were a kid, they thought, I just saw this video. This girl thought that the credit limit meant like you can spend all of that.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Insane. Her parents fucking dropped the ball.
Yep.
Oh my god.
Yeah. To talk about privilege. Holy shit.
My parents scared the shit out of me with credit cards. It was basically they're like,
never do it, don't do it.
if you buy a video game on a credit card, you're gonna pay $1,000 for that game. Like,
Right,
You know what I mean? That was the idea I had, and so like I was like, no. Whenever anyone's like, get a credit card, I'm like, oh, no. The only time I really got one was because after my house burned down, I was gonna rebuy all the furniture for my house, like all the beds, all the couches.
Yeah.
And I was gonna spend like 35 or 40 grand on all this stuff. And someone said to me, they're like, you're buying that on a credit card, right? And I'm like, no, the insurance company's going to pay for it. And they're like, yeah, but you get points back on a credit card. And if you just drop 40 grand, you're going to get so many points.
Yeah,
and I was
yeah,
like,
of course.
oh shit. And like, I looked at it before that as like 100% detrimental to my life.
Right.
You know what I mean?
No, absolutely. Yeah, it is crazy. But yeah, so the kid bought me the PlayStation 2. I was endlessly thankful.
Yeah.
And then, no joke, the next week, that kid either quit or got fired. I don't know. He just stopped going to work there. And I was genuinely like, hey, can someone give me so-and-so's like phone number or email address or something? I genuinely tried to get a hold of that kid. Never.
Wow.
This kid bought me a PlayStation 2.
Did you give him half the money in the first place?
I believe so.
Yeah.
Or
Okay.
no, I didn't, because he was like, yeah, you don't have to pay me back yet. It's on the credit card. Like he was doing that shit.
I love the idea that, like, you know,
I think he was like, that way you can buy a game. You know what I mean?
This is the Mr. Burns truth. But then we cut back and like Ray is in the break room putting a bag of cocaine into this kid's coat and then like filing an anonymous report.
Yeah, no, but that was crazy. I really did like working there.
Yeah.
It just became, you know, it's a big box store kind of thing, right?
Yeah.
I had the blue shirt. I did the things.
Yep.
Yellow shirts are loss prevention. They get to do what they want. You know, it's a deal, right?
Yeah.
And I liked working with some of the customers that would come in. I liked kind of helping someone figure something out.
Right.
But the problem is, like, I liked doing that because I'm like, oh, I know this stuff and you don't know this stuff,
Right.
and I'll help you out and get you a thing that you don't. I don't want you to buy something you don't need.
Yeah.
You know, and that kind of thing. But Best Buy is like, no. Buy something that you don't need.
Sell them that monster cable.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. Oh, of
exactly.
course. And you know, that kind of stuff happened, and then I think technically I was let go because I showed up late, and you know, I was let go. But I was a high school kid,
Yeah.
with a shit car, and like, doing the usual thing of like, I have a flat tire and it sounds like an excuse. I'm like, no, this is a 1984 car.
Yeah.
It's older than anything. You know what I mean? It's like my age. I don't know. What do you want me to do? So yeah, that happened. And then I found out later that the general manager, the manager of my department, and the really nice assistant manager who hired me, she was great. They were all from another Midwest Best Buy.
Okay.
And they got brought over to open this one. It was a big deal. They were doing some kind of scam with like the refrigerators and dishwashers. Essentially, I think, boiling it down to its basic thing, like fake returning like huge refrigerators and stuff, and pocketing that money. And it all came out like right after I left. Yeah. And that is 3 different like company things that I worked for. Yeah. Where after I left, all this information came out. Yep. The Big and Tall store I worked for, the Arby's I worked at, and the Best Buy. So basically, I shouldn't have a day job because I'll only find out it's a boiler room. Yep. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, well, I'm working at the local library helping out. What's that? Stock fraud? Oh, no. You know what I mean? But yeah, I did like...
decimal?
Yeah. Oh, God. Dewey's behind this? Yeah. Do we say something? Do we keep it quiet? Yeah, he did. Yeah. But no, Best Buy was a fun time. I think it's just a classic late 90s experience. Yeah. Being a high schooler working at Best Buy and people being like, damn, you work at Best Buy? Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, it's cool. It's cool that you work at Best Buy.
That's how I felt about GameStop and Movie Stop when I worked there.
Yeah.
It was fun. I just really enjoyed it. I really liked it. Especially if you're with people that are cool. It's like, man, going to work is just fun.
I'm just fucking around, yeah.
Yeah, it was great.
I met, people that became like long-term friends, working there. It is crazy. Like, I think there's also a special thing that you can feel in that time, that period of time in your life, like high school age. Yeah. Where you have a real job. You know what I mean? Like you have to show up, you punch in, you get a paycheck. Yeah. It's not like I work for my parents or I work for a friend or whatever it is. Yeah. It's a real job, but the beautiful thing is, because you're in high school, you have no responsibilities other than go to school, and then maybe you have like a car payment. I doubt it, but probably not. Whatever bill you might have is nothing. Yeah. Right. Yeah. I think at the most my bill was a cell phone. Yeah. Towards the tail end there. No, I got that from a buddy. Never mind. Anyway. The thing I do miss is like when you got that paycheck, which was not much, you're probably making minimum wage, you're working part-time hours, and you get that check and you look at like the $280 for the week and being like, I got all the money in the world.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because it doesn't have to go to anything. You don't need to spend any of it, which means you get to spend all of it. You know what I mean?
It's like you go to Best Buy and then you go in the parking lot and you're in like Taco Bell is selling their like signature 20-year anniversary sombreros, and like you're like, yeah, stop there. You get extra stuff. You get one of the sombreros just because you got that paycheck. Yeah. That's exactly how it was.
There is a special feeling of such a little amount of money feeling like
for sure
the world is your oyster. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. I had to save half of every check.
My dad told me to,
that's because the elders would find out, and if the elders find out that you're not saving half, back in the barn.
Like we had just gone through the Great Depression, and my parents were like, "Hey, save."
My dad tricked me and was like, "Everyone saves half of every check," so I did.
See,
it was good because that's how I was able to move out of my parents and buy a house immediately.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's fantastic because I grew up with a single mom who was living paycheck to paycheck. So she's like struggling to make ends meet, and I'm looking at her going, I hear you. Same here. Yeah. I live paycheck to paycheck too.
Same here. And you have the pile of sombreros.
Also, my neck is killing me. So heavy on this I don't know, woven straw. But no, there is a magic to that for sure.
Hilarious.
Yeah, thank you for bringing that up. Working at Best Buy is like a locked memory where I just didn't even think about it.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah.
This email is from August 9th. Subject line, people on the airplane who want to show you photos.
Oh.
It's from Tony.
Oh.
Hey guys, just wanted to let you know I feel Brad's pain about his dad carrying photo albums on the plane. My dad does something very similar, but no, he doesn't carry photos of friends and family. He carries photos of things he has built. My dad restores vintage motorcycles and makes photo albums of
That's
them.
kind of cool.
Yeah, I get it.
Me and you did the exact same thing.
Yeah.
We were like,
yeah.
Does he have...
Even if it was like cool tables and shit, I'd be
Yeah.
like, good for you. You built that
Woodworking.
with your fucking hands.
yeah, woodworking would be cool.
Yeah.
Does he have them on his phone? Nope. He prints them out and puts them in a photo album. He keeps the album in his car and will show it to pretty much anyone who will listen.
That's okay.
A before and after photo are certainly cool and interesting to many people, but he goes way in depth with the technical details. I attached a couple photos of complete projects. He doesn't know what a podcast is, but he would definitely want you guys to see him. And it's very cool motorcycle photos.
That's fun.
Yeah.
I do
Yeah.
think that's interesting.
And
enough.
this is from
Tony.
Tony, I get how you feel about it.
Yeah, sure.
Genuinely. And if it was my dad, well, I'd just be grateful that I have a good relationship with him. You know, maybe think about that, Tony. Maybe think about that, Anthony. Anthony. Okay. Oh, your dad's there and builds motorcycles and could like help you with an engine?
Oh, your dad built you a motorcycle for Christmas, Tony?
Wow. Oh no, he made you pose for a picture and printed it out and shows other people and goes, look, there's my proud boy son. Not proud boy.
Proud boy,
I meant
yeah.
he's proud of his boy.
Yikes.
Oh, I'm feeling bitter. But no, I will say, I think Chuck and I are on the same page here.
It's too cool.
It's too unique and cool.
Yeah.
Like, I did this thing.
Yeah.
Here's this thing. And like him going too much into detail, if that guy's talking to me, yeah, I'm going to get bored.
Yeah.
But I also recognize this is a man who loves his thing. He's proud of what he's done, and this is how he can communicate with it, because maybe the other man in his life that he had to make
Yep.
and named after his favorite cereal.
The man-made man.
Yeah, the man-made man. Maybe he doesn't get to say those things to him.
Right.
And so he's
okay.
bringing this to other people. So Tony, you wrote in thinking we'd be on your side. No, I'm kidding. Yeah.
And also, I would like to say, like, I do the same thing, where it's like, we do the turtle hunt. I have all my Halloween Ninja Turtles, and I have printed out pictures of each of those
Yeah,
from
but
every
see,
angle.
This man made a thing with his hands.
I take them out.
Be very gentle.
All right, you know, Raphael, what if he was mixed with a wolf man?
Oh man. No, I get it. I think that also feels like a specific kind of man.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
like a classic dad move, I
Yeah.
think.
Yeah.
You know, doing their passion hobby thing. Or maybe it's his job, I don't know. And being proud of it
Yeah.
and trying to share that with other people, because I'm willing to bet that Tony's father is maybe a little quiet. Like, you know what I mean? Maybe a little bit of a closed kind
Keeps
of guy.
himself.
Yeah.
And then this is his thing. This is how he can
Yeah.
connect with people.
I like that.
Yeah.
Nice.
I think it's lovely.
Probably two more emails.
Okay.
Time-wise.
You know what? Let's do 20.
All right. This one is from Tanner, who has written in the past, and I believe he talked about wearing headphones and listening to the episodes, and he was laughing, and we were opining what job Tanner had.
Yes, and we wanted to know what it was.
Yes.
Also, just a quick shout out, because we're deep into this episode. I do genuinely love doing these, and I hope, viewer listener, that you are enjoying, this kind of loose Q&A that happens during these.
Yeah,
you know
absolutely,
what I mean?
absolutely.
Yeah, I think
No,
it's fun.
yeah, it is fun.
Sorry, I had a moment of self-doubt.
Of course, no.
It'll never happen again.
Tanner, August 14th. Holy shit. Watching today's... I'd hoped we could get through this. Watching today's Crack the Sack episode right now.
Oh, we forgot to do that at the beginning.
Oh my God, this sack has been uncracked for almost an hour?
Tanner, we were so close.
Thank you, Tanner, for reminding
Yes.
us. I can't believe we've been rummaging around in this sack uncracked.
I'll say I thought of it during the first email, and I'm like, we're gonna get through this without doing the...
What can we do in post? Oh no, we don't have time for post.
You know what? We can make some time.
Oh, come on!
Wait a minute. What am I talking about? I have a time machine. I've got all the time I need. That was so dumb. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
I love it.
We show up just in time to see us walking out of the studio. Like, all right. Brad gets gunned down.
We're back. We're back from the future.
Watching today's Crack the Sack episode right now and hearing the Fun Bears read and react to my email has blown my mind. As far as what I do for work, I work at a pathology lab as a histology technician. I cut sections.
Histology? Histology.
Hysterectomies?
Nope. I cut sections.
No, it's history from the perspective of men, finally.
Yes. I cut sections of patient tissues onto slides that we stain for pathologists to look under a microscope to diagnose patients, normally for diseases. This is a simplified explanation, but it's a pretty interesting gig. So happy to hear back from you guys. Thanks again.
I would like to see his photo album
Yeah, me too.
of his slides.
Of his slide.
This is...
I would like to see his
This is
slideshow.
Yeah, this is Listeria. and that was in a small boy. You know what I mean? That would be interesting. What an odd, not odd, but just an unexpected job. It's not odd. It's just like a very specific thing.
Yeah, I like it.
And think about that. People are waiting for test results. Maybe like life-changing test results.
Oh, they're sitting there staring at their phone.
You know,
sweating.
you know what I picture? I picture a middle-aged woman kind of looking out the window, concerned.
Yeah. Oh, her tea has gone cold.
Yeah, and then her husband just hand on the shoulder, just like it's gonna be okay, like that kind of thing. And it's wordless. They don't say anything.
No.
Right.
And they're waiting for these results.
And then we cut to the lab.
Yeah, and just you hear the muffle of our own stupid voices coming from the headphones.
You called me a bacon brother, and
and then you just hear, right?
Yep.
A balloon full of jizz.
Oh, yeah. It's terminal.
Let's see, polyps positive for cancer. A pinata full of cum. I don't know why all of mine are just full of stuff. It's something. It is something we would end up with.
I gotta stand right under this if I'm gonna break it open.
Yeah. Hold on. Whoosh, and then children running in, scooping. I got the most. This birthday sucks.
It's nice to know that the stigmata wasn't the low point of this episode.
What you see as a bottom, I see as the floor of the next story. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The ceiling of the next story.
Ceiling, yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, I thought about going up. We were going down.
This one.
Thank you very much for sending that in.
thank you,
Genuinely,
Tanner.
really appreciate it.
This is our last one, and there's a visual element to it.
And you mean last, like there's no more emails?
Nope. The last one we have time for on this episode.
Oh, okay. Maybe we should like wait and then we'll do like a 5-hour mail sack episode.
Catch up.
You know what I mean? And really get there. And by the end, we're just like, you go, and we got this one. We're like, fuck, stop sending these emails.
Yes, he was a bacon brother.
God damn it. Stepbrother, I don't know.
This one has a visual element, so we'll make sure we get the photo to Craig to put up on the video stream.
No time.
We've got a time machine.
Hold the phone up to the camera.
I mean, I can do it.
Out of focus and shaking. Is that Bigfoot?
Yes. Why? There's thumbprints all over. It's from Jeffrey. Hey, guys.
Uh-oh. Which Jeffrey?
Rhymes with Schmepstein.
Oh, no!
Hey,
I love listening to this podcast with my girlfriend, Gislaine.
Hey, guys. When my girlfriend and I are traveling, we sometimes listen to episodes of Funbearable.
To our island.
Yes.
I'm so sorry.
She doesn't like most of the podcasts I listen to, but we always have a good time listening to Funbearable.
I thought they just like most of the episodes.
Yeah,
Like,
she
what?
hates you guys. She can't fucking stand you. She hopes all of you die bad, slow deaths.
They just keep listening.
Yeah, and he's just like, nah, you get the hold on. I love the idea of like, there's a joke, we're cackling, and he's like needling her with his elbow, and then he goes, but what you need to understand, see, because Brad lost a spelling bee when he was in middle school, and then and she's like, oh, okay.
Thanks. Yeah.
Okay, that is funny.
Oh, yeah. Here, I'll rewind it now that you know. No, I'm good. No, that is special. That is very genuine. Like, I find it alien to listen to a podcast with someone.
Yeah, I've shown people a couple podcasts, but it's not a consistent thing ever.
It feels weird to me, and because I feel like podcasts are like masturbating, right? It's a thing you do to really enjoy yourself. Brad, you filthy man. What a filthy guy.
Edit it in post,
Pinata.
Craig.
Great. Well, now we have to demonetize this one. He whispers "come," and it's like, oh, fuck. Meanwhile, I'm like, pinata full of jizz. But no, so I'm a little punch drunk right now. But it is a very personal thing, right?
Yeah.
And like when I'm listening to a podcast, like in the car or whatever, and I'm laughing at something happening, or I'll listen to a podcast when I build a Lego set at night, so I don't have to think about the darkness of the world. We may be filming this the day after the election, and I for sure did that last night.
You're gonna run out of Legos, my friend.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. So, but like I'll listen to Big Grande. I like to re-listen to that. It's very fun. If my wife comes out, Kalina, to like get a drink of water or something, she's already in bed. I feel deeply embarrassed.
Me too. I know.
Deeply
I know.
embarrassed.
I
Where I'm
know.
like, oh, it's my funny little boys I listen to.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I'm sure that, but I'll go on a road trip or something where a new episode of something I want to listen to came out, but I'm like, I'm not going to listen to. Hey, you want to listen to this with me? No. Even if it's a podcast I like, I'd be like, oh no, I do that by myself.
It's pretty rare. I might do it once in a while. I think we listened to a podcast on the way back from Toronto.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah, no,
That's a tough one.
I know it's pretty rare, and it's funny because like you do feel like you go, oh, this is really funny, and you put it on, and then they say stuff, and for some reason, because someone else is watching, you feel like it's a reflection of you.
Yeah.
So bad, you're like, well, you feel embarrassed like you said it.
Yeah. Oh my God. That's exactly how this gentleman. What was his name again? I'm so sorry.
Jeffrey.
Jeffrey. I apologize for asking for the name, but I want to make sure I get it. You know, and not just say this guy.
Yep.
You know, but we do hear a lot of names with this, and then immediately start riffing, and we're talking about jizz pinatas, and it's hard to remember Jeffrey.
Can I go ahead,
real quick?
Say,
Just the idea of Jeffrey riding in the car with his girlfriend, and an episode is on, and like you're saying, like it's a reflection of you.
Exactly.
And suddenly we're on like Chuck jizzing on a desk, or like taping meat to a woman's body and chasing them through the woods, or whatever insane thing we're doing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I know.
Just explaining to the girlfriend why it's funny that I would eat at Applebee's. Is because we have so many runners.
I know.
I think that's universally funny.
I know.
We need a pamphlet.
Yes,
We need a pamphlet.
We do.
So you're listening to Funbearable. Here's some things you need to know.
Number one, I'm so sorry.
That's the first part of the pamphlet.
Yes.
That's one full third of the page.
My little thing I thought about that I just want to say out
Gross.
loud because I thought about this. So they're driving in a car, and I'm thinking about how my car inspection sticker expired yesterday. Mm-hmm. And before we were setting up the cameras, I had that back and forth with that woman at that mechanic shop. I've burned a bridge with every single auto body shop like in the vicinity of where I live.
That's correct.
And because of that, I don't know where I can go because I've burned so many bridges with them.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it just made me laugh.
You have to drive
Oh, boy.
further afield. All right. Recently, we were hanging out at my house and we're trying to find something to watch on TV. I said, let's watch the new episode of Funbearable. This was episode 108, Boy Crimes Number 1. As I was getting
Yeah, that's
ready
a
to
good
play
episode to
the
jump in.
episode, she said, wait, let me draw what I think they look like. She grabbed a notebook and
I
made
don't
some
like
quick sketches of each of you.
That's dangerous emotionally.
After she gave me the sketches, I started the episode. She immediately turned her back to the TV and said, I don't like what they look like. I prefer how they looked in my head. I thought you would get a kick out of her illustrations. She also thinks Chuck talks about his girlfriend too much. Almost as if he's trying to convince people he has one.
Well, I mean,
Thanks for the entertainment, Jeff.
It's going in the pamphlet.
Now,
I really don't like the line. She turned her head away from the screen. I don't like what they look like. I'm like, oh no.
so Chuck responded, my girlfriend is real. She just lives in another part of the country that's wicked far away. That's why you haven't met her.
I don't even remember
I
that.
love that Brad looked like that in your girlfriend's head. It blows my mind. Also, this was the wrong episode to pick to show her what we really look like, don't you think? Because we had the wigs.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
He said, "Yeah, I think literally any other episode would have been a better one to show what you look like." She also said, "I feel like Ray is an older actual comedian who felt sorry for the others and decided to help them out." I'm an old school
Wow.
TSD fan. I've enjoyed your contributions over the years. Take care and thanks for responding. And then Chuck said, "Wow, 2 insults in one thread. This one's getting put on the fridge."
I don't. It's so funny because that sentence was like, I guess a compliment and thank you, but also older.
Yep.
Yeah.
Older.
Yep. Here's
Older
what
than
we
Brad.
look like.
Let me see here.
Ray has no hair and a giant beard.
I think the hair is flat.
I have a full head of hair. Thank you.
Yeah.
And stubble. And Chuck is pretty accurate.
Chuck, well, no, because
Glasses.
this looks like an Agent Smith stand-in.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The glasses are more like Mr. Anderson. You know what I mean?
okay, yeah.
I look like a Duck Dynasty guy.
Yeah, you really do.
Oh
Yeah.
wow.
So it really goes with your
Did-
personality.
Did that say anything about she had seen Tell Him Steve Dave stuff?
No, it was him saying he was a film.
yeah.
Oh, okay.
Wait, I don't know if she
No, I'm
has.
pretty close.
Yeah.
Brad is really off.
I look like
You look like a Beatle or something.
from American Dad. I look like the daughter's boyfriend.
Oh, yeah. No, very interesting. This was a confusing and complicated email to get.
Yeah.
Because there's nice things in it.
Yeah, there are.
And believe me, Jeffrey, I really appreciate that you enjoy the show so much that you do want to try and share that. I get that feeling. There's certain things where I'm like, I really like this, and I want to share that enjoyment with Kalina, my wife. But sometimes I also know, like, this is just for me. You know what I mean?
Yeah, of course.
There's certain things, but so it's a very nice thing, and I appreciate that. There are some things that are they hurt a little bit in that email as well.
Oh yeah.
If we're all honest,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We can end on a different one then.
Yeah. Let's
Well,
end on a different.
Oh,
one.
okay. But Jeffrey, thank you
yeah.
very much.
Thank you.
Sincerely, we appreciate it. And tell your girlfriend, we're not sure that we want to listen to her.
I'm sure that I don't.
Whoa.
Wow.
Whoa, from Agent Smith himself.
I'll give her a shot.
2 insults. I don't have a girlfriend.
No, we do appreciate it.
This
Thank
is
you.
this is
I've
from
had 1,000 girlfriends.
from Chad.
Christ.
August
A
23rd.
woman walks by you on the street. She was my girlfriend. For a split second.
Hi, fun boys. I know that 107B bonus ghosts intro with the three of you was supposed to be throwaway, but Chuck and Ray both said something that stopped me in my tracks.
What episode is this?
107B bonus ghosts.
Oh, it's from Ray and Derek.
Yeah.
With Ray and Derek.
Oh, okay.
Ghosts.
Chuck,
It's the name of the episode.
Yeah.
Chuck stated that people do not hear his name correctly when he gives it to them, and Ray
remember
chimed in similarly that people often hear Greg. This is, again, from
Oh,
Chad.
yeah.
I can tell you I've been dealing with the same thing my entire life. My God-given name is Chad, but I would guesstimate there's a 50-50 shot when meeting someone new, they hear Jack. Funny enough, I've never had anyone call me Brad before. It has gotten to the point that now, being a 40-year-old, I over-pronunciate, just like Brad,
Yeah.
my name.
Me too. I
Which
always
is
do.
weird because
Chuck.
it's with one syllable and only 4 letters. Often as I'm saying it, I know I sound like I'm sounding it out for a 2-year-old. I will sometimes, after saying it, spell it out for people, which if they were part of the 50% that heard the word Chad will look at me like, yeah, duh, I know how Chad is spelled. I had no idea others had this issue. I thought it was just Chad's. Thank you for bringing up our plight, of which the Dans, Pauls, and Brads of the world have no idea. Chad, C-H-A-D, and then a pronunciation guide for Chad.
I love
Great.
it. I love it. Thank you, Chad.
Thank-
It is true.
I think it's true. I think we should end on a different one though, because that one we don't have anything to say to it.
Okay.
You know, but I think a lot of the one syllable names you're gonna get that.
Well, we can't end on this one either. It's from an anonymous fan. Hi, this is Smelanie. I just wanted to apologize for what happened with backing into your car, Chuck, and moving to Japan. I was so caught up in getting married, I completely forgot about it. I want to repay you plus interest. My uncle recently passed away and left me an inheritance of $10,000. I want to sign that over to you. I just need your social security number and bank account number, and I'll deposit it all in your account. Sorry again, Smelanie.
Good reference to the time that I trusted that woman, but she moved to Japan instead of paying me for my car. All right, next.
That old girlfriend?
All right, this is from Zane. It's from August 28th.
Good one to end on.
Yeah, I think so.
Great.
Hey guys, I just finished episode 109, Making Mall Talk. I didn't have much experience with malls growing up because I grew up in a very small town in Alberta. But when we would go to the city of Edmonton, it was a big thing because of West Edmonton Mall.
And the Oilers.
I think at one point it was the largest mall in North America. It has an ice rink, an amusement park, a water park, and for some reason, a pirate ship. There's also a movie theater.
Damn.
There's also a movie theater that has a giant dragon hanging from the ceiling, and it actually spits out fire.
Oh, shit.
I've attached a few pictures of the last two things. I currently live in Calgary, and the mall closest to where I live just closed down a couple years ago. I honestly think it's due in part to the two schools that are near the mall a couple years ago decided to not let students go into the mall for lunch. One really cool thing came out of its closing after it was used as one of the filming locations for season 1 of The Last of Us. Also,
Whoa, cool. That is cool.
Also, the moment where I think a mall starts to die, which is something we talked about,
Yes.
Right.
is when chain food places and food courts start to close down and nothing replaces it.
That's good.
Yeah.
But shifting gears, I have a few beat 'em up recommendations. Chuck and I love playing video games, beat 'em up video games together. River City Girls, it's a 2-player game where you play as 2 girls who have to rescue your kidnapped boyfriends. There's a sequel where
Fun flip.
There's a sequel where you also get to play as the boyfriends. Also, Fight and Rage. You're part of a human revolution trying to defeat the mutated animal monster overlords. The training mode is super helpful with learning how to properly use all the characters. That's all for this email. Still loving and enjoying the podcast. Hope you're all doing well. The idea of
Thank you, Zane.
this is the mall closing
Yeah.
and it being like chain restaurants move out of the food court,
That's great.
it really makes a lot of sense.
It
Yeah,
does
it does.
because like I was thinking about the mall that we were talking about in that episode I think at least at the beginning, Fox Run Mall, where I grew up. That food court is how we walked in, Finn and I, my son, and all of those like chain food places that I remembered being there. No. And now it's like generic name stuff. You know, does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like, I'm trying to think of a version where it's like, oh, maybe that was a McDonald's or something or a Burger King.
It's usually
and then you
pizza.
Go,
It's usually pizza.
Sure,
Like a
but no,
Sbarro,
now, well, Sbarro changes to like New York
Exactly,
pizza place, but even like a burger place will be like a weird like American burger,
like Town Burger.
Yeah, stuff like that where you're like, ugh, I don't know about that.
Yeah.
And then usually what's only left is the weird Chinese one and the weird pizza one, and that's the only two that exist. You know? Yeah, that is true.
That's a great calling card for that. Absolutely.
Yeah, it's a good observation, Zane.
Yeah.
It definitely is.
And I'll say Brad and I have played through River City Girls.
Yes.
It was very fun. I love it. And we're still playing through River City Girls 2.
Yep.
And we also played through Fight and Rage. And I think they're both great.
Yeah. Good games.
Great games.
Fantastic.
Awesome
Thank
games,
you, Zane. Really do appreciate it. I do think that's a good signifier of the mall
The death of the mall.
withering.
Yep.
Oh, for sure. For
because when you think about it, the mall, and we've talked about the different offshoot areas, right? This wing of the mall, those are the limbs.
Yeah.
And those limbs are sustained by usually a larger department store at the end of each limb.
Yeah.
But the food court,
It's the heart.
that's the heart of the mall.
Yeah. I
And
agree.
once you can lose a limb, but once that infection hits the heart, you're dead.
That's tough.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know the Providence Place Mall just went into like bankruptcy.
Oh yeah.
receivership.
Yeah, no, they've been talking about
Because
it for a long time.
there used to be a Popeyes in that food court. Mm-hmm. It's gone.
Yeah.
No, it's iPops. It's
Yeah.
just a guy.
Nordstrom left and it became
Boskov.
Boskov.
Yep.
See, we're getting close.
I know.
It's going away.
Yikes.
I know.
Well, folks, thank you for sticking around with us. Thank you to those of you who wrote in. We are through the end of August in these emails.
What's
pretty
going to
good.
happen in September?
Could be
pretty
anything.
good. I think we're doing good.
Could be
No,
anything.
I think so. And we'll make sure to do a little bit more of this.
Yeah.
You know, our usual end of mail sack episode where we talk about how we should do more mail sack episodes.
Yeah.
No, this was a lot of fun. I really do enjoy connecting with people. So, viewer, listener, if you want to reach out to us and have your email read, of course you can do that at funbearablepod@gmail.com.
Yes.
If you want to write to us, people have done this in the past as well, and don't want it read on the air
Yeah,
in a
just
mail
let-
sack
can
episode,
just say that.
yeah, just let us know in the email. I would prefer to not have this read,
Yeah.
and we won't. You know what I mean? And
Yep.
we'll read it, and we'll enjoy the secrets that are within.
A lot of
sweet,
secrets.
sweet secrets.
Yeah.
We have so many little secrets about
my God.
some lovely people that listen to this
my God,
podcast.
disgusting.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
It really
we could
is.
send people to jail for life.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Let's just put it this way. There's a certain senator that likes the show. That's all I'll say.
Yeah.
That's all I'll say.
It's true.
Yep.
There's a senator likes the show. That's it.
Whether or not he feels the burn, who knows? Who knows?
Right? Now let's cruise on out of here.
Okay. Different senators. Chuck, did you have a senator as well?
I don't know too much about politics.
All right.
You rub your hands together. I don't know too much about politics, so I'm running.
But Lindsey Graham.
Yeah, Lindsey Graham, that's the one that we have the secret about.
Yes.
It's a secret that everyone
Everyone
knows.
knows. But yeah, thank you all so much
say.
for hanging out with us. We hope your holiday season has been good, that you don't have the same decoration blindness that Chuck has to deal with, that Chuck bravely deals with.
Yeah,
a
yeah.
lot of people
Yes,
say.
thank you.
So
Yep. We can't say like overcome.
No.
Because look at this.
yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
But
Yeah.
you fight.
I do. I keep it going.
For Ray Harrington and Chuck Staten, I'm Brad Rohr saying thank you so much, and we're sorry for being Funbearable.
I think it's crazy because your holiday blindness has led to some real mix-ups.
Yeah.
There was that whole 9/11 situation. Good God.
Well,
His confusion about Black History Month.
Well, everybody was trying to be somber and remember the occasion at 8:15 in the morning, recognizing September 11th, and then suddenly, out of nowhere, you hear da 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 da, and then here comes Chuck doing Cinco de Mayo, and you're like, oh no, read the room.
He's like, hey guys, it's Taco Tuesday.
Yeah, and you had that hat that was a sombrero, but with two big churros at the top.
churros.
Yeah, I'm trying to think what's like. Yeah, and then you had that parrot going. I don't know.
It's a lot.
It's
pretty
so
messed up.
confusing. Yeah.
Honestly, would be confusing on Cinco de Mayo.
Yeah.
I was gonna say.
On Juneteenth, you wanted to recognize that some holidays or some Christmas traditions in European countries have.
Nope. Let's end the end.
They
Quick,
have
cut
the,
it.
the elf that's famously with the face.
Yeah.
Black Pete.
Well, was it Black Peter?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like him.
You like him. You're
like-
pro Black Peter.
I like the cut of his jib.